What's up? It's time for the show? Alright, come in for a minute. Come on. Fuck. We got cocaine.
And this is why. Because you know how awesome celebrities back in the past would be awesome to follow? Okay. At K. Cobain. I'm sad.
Alright, shit. My name's Keith Evans. And this is gonna be my fucking special. And, go.
At K. Cobain. Pearl Jam sucks.
That's the set right there.
Buying shotgun shells. At JFK. I think I'll keep the top down in the car today.
No, oh, well, you know, they come by every once in a while. Oh, shit. I'm okay. After you.
With my homies. 5 years later. At Tupac Shakur. New album dropping.
So, I don't know. I'm about to do my set right now. Big Kitty's going on right now, which is awesome. My good friends from Chuckle Inc.
At Jesus, replying to at Judas. You're my best friend. At Milli Vanilli. Milli Vanilli just retweets a lot of other people all the time. I don't know why, it's weird. So is everybody ready for their headliner? Our headliner is next, and I get the distinguished opportunity to announce him.
We're gonna wait for it. We're gonna wait it out. We're gonna wait it out.
He's one of my best friends. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the only black friend I have, and I was always super disappointed there wasn't any more ghetto than this, Keith Evans!
We're gonna make him wait. We're gonna make him wait because I'm black, and we're just gonna fit all stereotypes right now. Fuck it. Why not? Make him wait.
Hold on, he's on black guy time.
See? Black guy time.
Evans! What the fuck?
You ready?
These people are gonna be really disappointed if Nathan Gibson has the headline of the show.
You guys ready?
Alright. Okay. Fat Kanye West, that's what he is in my phone here.
Hello?
Can anyone hear him? Can anyone hear him?
Who is it?
Oh, can you hear? Can you hear? Hey, King Cobra, it's White Owl.
What?
What's up? Hey, you know. He said headlining what, if anyone didn't hear that. You're headlining a show tonight.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'll be... Here I come right now.
Okay, let's keep it up. Let's get a slow clap. Slow clap.
Go.
All right, Front Point, don't be nervous when the black guy's about to walk into the bar. Here it comes. Nobody call the cops. There he is. Keith Evans!
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Keith Evans. Give me a round of applause. Do it right now. Do it right now. I think I'm still on the phone with Jake right now. Okay.
Nice cough. Nice cough, my Grace. Please put your hands together for yourselves for hanging around this song right now. Please do it. Make it louder. Make it louder. Make it louder. Sorry it took me so long to get here. I had a little bit of a travel. I traveled pretty far. to get here. For those who don't get that joke, I live upstairs. So, living upstairs is fun. Like, I live upstairs above Zodiac. Like, it's kind of fucking awesome. At the same time, though, it's like, I had a lot of people who were basically telling me, they were saying, you know, the noise is unbearable. Like, you're not gonna be able to deal with the noise on Wednesdays and Friday nights and Saturday nights and stuff like that. And the noise doesn't bother me. Like, I lived in New York for 3 years. Like, noise and crackheads screaming does not bother me at all. What bothers me is that on a Wednesday or a Friday at about 10:30, I'm sitting on my couch. I'm about to eat some jalapeno cherry Cheetos and smoke some pot and chill and relax. Then all of a sudden you hear the noise coming from, and the noise doesn't bother me, but what it does is it wakes up my liver. Wakes up my liver completely. And my liver is very excited. Like, I'm not a douchebag, but my liver is a douchebag. Like, my liver, if my liver was a person, it would wear like a graphic t-shirt and like obnoxious belts from Express and shit. In fact, gelled hair, all that good shit. Like, I'm black, but my liver is Macedonian. Like, that's how that works. I love living in Crown Point. This is my second stint living in Crown Point, second tenure, and I've never really had any problems out here at all. But the funny thing, this is a real story. This actually happened to me yesterday. I was coming from the library over here, and as I was coming from the library, I'm walking, and this red pickup truck starts passing me by, and they roll down their window, and they scream, "Nigger!" And I'm like, whoa. I pull out my cell phone, see what year it is, because I'm kind of confused, like, what the fuck? And then I was kind of upset, because I'm like, how come people don't scream like nigger from like a Prius? Like, why does it have to be a red pickup truck? Like, why? Like, you can fit nooses in the back of a Prius, right? Like, I don't know. It's craziness. I hang out in Crown Point a lot, and being like one of the only few black guys that lives out here, like, I pick up everybody from Crown Point. I pick up their little, you know, their little things that they do. Anytime I'm out at night and I see another black person walking around, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, what the fuck? I pull out my cell phone, I push 9, and I push 1, and I just let it chill for a minute, like, just to see if some shit pops off. Like, you know, like, I want to keep my neighborhood safe too. I was at McDonald's one day, and I'm sitting at McDonald's, I'm having lunch, and all of a sudden, this very beautiful, middle-aged, like 30, like 35, like late 30s maybe, white woman walks in with 7 of the ruggish, thuggish black dudes I've ever seen. Like, they all follow behind her, and like, I sit there and I contemplate for a minute, and I think, like, either this is like a scene from Dangerous Minds, like she's trying to like teach them that learning is cool, and they're teaching her that being black is cool, or it's a gangbang lunch break. Like, it's, you know, because I mean, whores have to eat too, right? Like, whores have to eat. So yeah, living in the region, I've been in the region all my life. Lived in Crown Point, lived in Gary, had my stint of dealing with jail. I've done that a couple of times. And getting pulled over is like the gayest thing ever. And like, well, let me start that joke over because I have gay friends. My neighbor upstairs is actually gay, and like sometimes he comes to me, he's like, dude, like, why do you use the word gay like that? And I'm like, I don't mean gay like homosexual, I mean gay like stupid, like, you know. And he's like, well, why don't you just use the word stupid? And I'm like, that's fucking gay. Like, why am I gonna do that? So I'm like, you know, just so you know, I'm not being malicious and I'm not trying to offend you or anything like that. Anytime I want to call something stupid, instead of using the word gay, I'm going to use the word black. So let me start that joke over. Getting pulled over is like the blackest thing ever. So it's seriously the blackest thing you can do, especially in Crown Point. Being in Lake County Jail, it's an interesting place. Real interesting place. You see a lot of funny shit. And there was something really funny that I want to tell you guys about that happened in there while I was in there. we're all like sitting in a little area watching the TV, and which is funny because like when jail people like watch TV, they watch like Cops and First 48. It's like, what the fuck are you watching this for? Like what? It's kind of like getting raped and then going to your room and then watching Precious. It's like, why would you do that? Like, it's just gonna drum up memories. Like, come down. Like, so this guy is on the phone, like while we're watching TV. He's on the phone, and I'm going to tell you what the conversation was from his end, and then I'm going to translate the conversation for you. This is what I'm gonna do. So, this guy, he's on the phone with his girl, and you know, the conversation is escalating. Like, it's escalating, it's getting heated, and all of a sudden he's on the phone, and he's like, what? The fuck you say, bitch? What? The fuck you say? The fuck you say? Put my brother on the phone. Put my brother on the phone. So I assume she put his brother on the phone. He's like, what's up? What's up, Lord? What's up, Lord? I need you to do me a favor. Hit that bitch in the mouth for me. And there was a pause. And then all of a sudden he was like, see? Even when I'm out here, I'm in there. Even when I'm out here, I'm in there. And I'm like, what? What the fuck is going on? Apparently the conversation escalates again. And he's like, put my brother on the phone. And again, he goes, hey, oh Vice Lord, hit that bitch in the mouth for me again. Hit that bitch in the mouth for me again. Now, this is what I'm gonna tell you how my brain worked during this whole conversation. He was talking to his girlfriend. They were talking, the conversation escalated. He apparently got really upset about it. He asked her to put his brother on the phone. The brother gets on the phone and he reminds him that they are vice lords. He reminds him that. And then he says, hit that bitch in the mouth for me. So apparently what the brother does, because he's ever so loyal, is that he gets her in the fucking mouth. She gets back on the phone. He tries to tell her, even when I'm in here, I'm out there, which is creepy already, like, for anybody to hear anything. Conversation escalates, and he says, put my brother back on the phone. And for some reason, she didn't learn her lesson the first fucking time. So, foolishly enough, she's like, oh, here's the fucking phone. And he gets her in the mouth again. That's literally the definition of the phrase, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, hit me in the face. That's literally the definition of that fucking thing. How you guys feeling? Good? Thank you. PBR.
Yeah.
Is everybody drinking tonight?
Yeah.
Everybody drinking tonight?
Hell yeah.
Effing vodka drinks, $3. That's a beautiful thing. It's our new sponsor now, so give it up for that. Give it up for Effing Vodka. So, speaking of domestic violence, because we're in a region, I'm going to tell you guys a little story about an involuntary domestic dispute that I was in. Keyword involuntary. I don't know how many domestic disputes you've been in with your pet shy, but you might understand.
Only one.
Only one? All right. Easy. Fool him once. Shame on them. Don't fool him twice, because he's not stupid. I feel it. I understand. So, okay, this is what happened. I was with my daughter's mother. We were living together in Chesterton, which is already like what? Like, why were you living in Chesterton? So we're living in Chesterton, and apparently when you are with somebody, like when you guys are in a relationship, one of the main things that you have to do is come to a compromise of what reality competition show you're gonna watch together as family time. So ours was So You Think You Can Dance. Love that show. Big fan of that show. So we're sitting there, we watch So You Think You Can Dance. This girl Lauren gets up, which I'm a big fan of or whatever, and she's dancing, doing her solo thing or whatever, and I'm staring. And she looks at me and she says, are you looking at her ass? And I'm like, of course, like I'm black, that's kind of my specialty. Like, this is what I do. Like, I know good ass when I see it. Like, Sir Mix-a-Lot has taught me a lot. So, she goes to me, she says, how do you think that makes me feel? And I'm like, I don't fucking know how it makes you feel. Like, are you serious? Like, this is an issue right now? And she's like, oh, I could build the world's tallest building with shit you don't know. So I'm like, whoa, calm down, slow down. Number one, you're from Hebron. You're not that smart. Like, calm down. Number two, judging how smart I am from shit I don't know makes no sense. I don't know what anal sex feels like. I don't know why people watch the fucking show Monk. Like, there's a lot of shit I don't know. Like, so I'm like, this escalates, we start arguing, it keeps going on, it keeps going on. All of a sudden we're getting to the point where we're screaming at each other. I used to do this thing all the time, I don't do it anymore because I realize girls don't like it, but I used to do this thing where a girl screams at me, and then I just scream nonsense back at her. Like, so she's like, I can't believe you, you're so fucking insensitive. And I'm like, oh my God, my scrotum looks like a seashell. I just ran, like, that's just like the shit that I scream, like whatever. So all of a sudden, we get to the point where in every fight that we do, she tells me, I'm fucking leaving. And this is my cue to be like, oh no, don't go, I'm sorry, like, I apologize, like, please don't go, like, let's just work this out. But I was fed up at this point, so when she said, I'm leaving, I simply said, fucking roll, troll. Like, that did not really go over well. She didn't get the joke in that at all. So she runs to the room, slams the door. I run in the room and I kick the door open. Now, I have a 3-question rule where I ask you something 3 times, and then after the 3rd time, that's fucking it. Like, I get shitty about it. So I'm like, seriously, what's wrong with you? She's like, nothing. I'm like, no, seriously, like, there's obviously a problem. What's wrong with you? She's like, nothing. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you serious? She goes, nothing. All of a sudden, living in Chesterton, living in Crown Point before white boy rage gets into my body, I pick up the jury box and I throw it across the fucking room. It splits into pieces, and her response is, my dead grandmother made me that jury box. Now, I had never heard this story before. I had been with her for 2 years. Never heard about this jury box being made by her grandmother. Plus, she keeps our weed in that jury box. So, obviously, this jury box doesn't really mean anything to you. So she gets pissed. She runs into the living room. At this time, I'm paying all the bills in the house, but the living room is my only sanctuary. The TV, big screen TV, the DVD collection. She starts whipping DVDs out of the fucking collection, and all of a sudden she takes one DVD and she starts twisting it to like break it, you know what I mean? Well, I go in the room and I look to see what DVD is, and it's Willow. Well, don't fuck with my Willow DVD. Like, we're not playing that game right now. Shit just got real. So, I grab the DVD, I pull it, she's pulling it, I'm pulling it, she's pulling it. I decide I don't want to pull it anymore, but for some reason I don't let go. She pulls it, boom, hits her in the face. Now, this is what happened. It wasn't really that hard, and there was a good 3-second gap where she was like, oh. And I was like, is this like the NBA foul? Like, this is bullshit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I freaked the fuck out. At this point, like, I'm worried about her, but that's not my number one concern. My number one concern is that there's a white girl on my floor, and I'm in Chesterton, and I'm in Porter County, I'm going to jail. Like, that's what's happening. So immediately, I fucking collapse. And I'm like, no! I didn't mean to hit you, I'm so sorry! I didn't mean it, I'm so sorry! And she eventually, like, breaks in, comes, and hugs me. And I realize at that point that I need to go to Second City because my acting is flawless. My acting is fucking flawless. So that's that story. Me and this girl, we have a daughter together. We have a 4-year-old daughter. She'll be 5. Her name is Kayla Jade. Beautiful, beautiful little girl. And you know, I see her pretty decent amount of time, and there's a story about her that, like, everything I do with her is an adventure, whether it's a good adventure or a bad adventure. Everything I do with her is an adventure. So one day, we're hanging out with one of my boys who also has a 6-year-old son. So we're hanging out, we go to the park, we go take them to the park or whatever, and we let them go play in the park while we sit on the park bench and smoke weed because we're great dads. And we're smoking pot, watching our kids play. And I see his son running around chasing other girls. So I lean over to him and I'm like, hey man, your son, he's a pimp on the playground, man. And he leans over and he's like, yeah, you know what they say, young, dumb, and full of cum. I'm like, what? Well, normally sober, I would have been like, what? That does not apply to what we're talking about. You're an idiot. Like, move on. But I was stoned at the time. So what I took that is that he was warning me that there were pedophiles in his neighborhood filling kids with cum. So I'm like, oh shit, no. I'm like, Kayla, let's go. Kayla, let's get the fuck out of here. Let's go. Kayla, let's go. And because she's half white, I have to call her like a million times because white kids don't listen. So I'm like, Kayla, come on, let's go. Kayla, let's go, let's go. Come on, Kayla, let's go. Finally, I get fed up with calling her and I'm like, you want to get filled with cum? Let's fucking go. Well, what I didn't realize is that I had this private conversation. So the other parents that were standing around, all they saw was a black dude like, hey, you want to get filled with cum? So I am no longer invited to the town of Valpo. It happens. Fuck them. This square sucks anyway, so whatever. You guys having a good time tonight? Yeah, so far? So far, so good? So, if you guys are like interested in my comedy or anything like that, and you want to see me online or anything like that, you guys social network, right? Like you guys on social network, right? So you can visit me at www.blackplanet.com. You guys all got a Black Planet, right? You don't have a Black Planet? No? Nobody in this crowd has a Black Planet. You got a Black Planet.
Fear
nice.
of a black thing.
Fear of a Black Planet. That's not public enemy in this situation. Racism. Funny shit, right? Guys been making fun of me all night. Racism is a funny. Here's the funny thing about racism. Like, I think it's fucking hilarious. Like, it's ridiculous to the point where it's hilarious to me. And I read this thing online which amazed me. There's a new drug out called propranolol. And basically propranolol is like, from what my doctor friends have told me, it's like, whatever this means, it's like a beta tester or something like that. Like, I don't know what the fuck that means, but it does like high blood pressure, blah, 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 it deals with all that. Well, one of the side perks of it is that, quote unquote, it reduces racism. That's the side quote of it. It reduces racism. And basically their argument is that racism is caused by stress, and it reduces stress, therefore it reduces racism. Which I'm like, no, stress is caused by racism. I am a perfect example of it. And to me, it just made me really like think about like, okay, so can we come up with all kind of other drugs that, you know, will relieve situations that we should just normally fix ourselves? Like, you go to the doctor and you're like, hey doc, like, I don't know, like for the past couple of weeks, I just fucking hate fags. Like, I just fucking hate gay people. Like, it pisses me the fuck off. Like, every time I see them, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, why are they kissing? Why are they sucking each other's dicks? Which is like, why are you there when that's happening? But so the doctor goes, no, we have this new drug. It's called no homonol, and it will definitely take away your homophobia. Like, really? It'll take away my homophobia? No homo. Yeah, it'll take away your fucking phobia. Like, it's just stupid. Like the whole idea that racism is like, I like to make a joke about racism. That's what I like to do because it eases the tension. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna teach you guys a game. I'm gonna teach you guys a game that you can all play with your black friends, which you obviously didn't bring with you today. And basically this game stems from another like stint from me just sitting around and reading the dictionary, and I found this word in a dictionary, and it's N-I-G-G-L-E-R, niggler. Now, niggler, the definition of it basically means someone who makes a petty or like a ridiculous complaint about something. That's basically what the definition is. I'm paraphrasing. So what you should do, find your black friend, the one that you each have probably, and go to him, wait till they start complaining about something and be like, "You're such a fucking niggler." Now, what's gonna happen is they're gonna be like, "What the fuck did you just say to me? Like, are you serious? Like, is this what we're doing right now?" And you're gonna be like, "No, my African American friend. If you will refer to the unabridged dictionary that I carry around with me all the time because I play this game every fucking day, is that a niggler is somebody who makes a petty complaint about something." He's like, "Oh, my superior Caucasian friend, thank you. I am glad that the letter L has saved you from an asshole. I appreciate that. It's a beautiful thing." Now, the problem is, like, you can't play this game with me. Like, you can't play this game with me because I'm an asshole. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna complain about something, which I often do, and you're gonna be like, "You're such a fucking niggler, Keith." And I'm like, "What the fuck did you just say to me right now? Are you serious?" You're like, "No, if you refer to the unabridged dictionary that I carry with me all the time, just in case I play this game every fucking day, is that niggler means a person who makes a petty complaint about something." And I'm gonna be like, "Fuck off." Like, everybody knows that a niggler is what mermaids and mermen call black mermen and mermaids for years. Like, it's just nigger underwater. Like, that's all it is. It's just nigger. See? That's what it is. Like, so you're full of shit. Like, well, that's what I would say. So, I was thinking the other day, I was like, gay people, as much as I like them, they're awesome and they're fun and they're very fabulous and all those other words that Tyra Banks uses. They're awesome. But the one thing about them that I've always noticed is that they kind of house the worst trait of each gender. Like, they're annoying and nagging like women. And they're fucking loud and abrasive like men. So they're just loud and abrasive and annoying and nagging. And I was thinking, well, as far as categories go, like, what would be the person that would have, like, the most to complain about? And I was like, Africans, hands down. Africans have the most to complain about. So, in my theory, the most annoying person would be a gay African. Now, hear me out. You have a gay African. He's really gay, really African. Just way down deep. Like, and I'm not talking about like South Africa where it's like a city. I'm talking like pot belly, fly infested, AIDS running Africa. Like, I'm talking about deep Africa. So you have your gay African coming out of his hut, and he's like, "Ugh, it's so hot out here. Ugh, my AIDS is flaring up. Ugh, I'm so hungry. Ugh, why is my roof made out of straw?" Like, just annoying as fuck. Like, but the thing about gay Africans, like, they have to be like the best spear chuckers ever, because it's all in the wrist when you throw it. So, Grumble, really? Grumble. Gay African, it's fine, I can say it. Like, not gay, but part African. That's how that works. Do you guys like going out? You guys all drink and go out and party and stuff like that? Yeah. Make some noise if you like to drink. Yeah. Fellas, make some noise if you like to drink and just go out on a real serious lady hunt. Like, make some noise. No? Is there a lot of gay Africans in here or like what? So here's my thing, like, ever since I broke up with my daughter's mother, I've been single for a little while, and I found that I get annoyed by girls really easily. Like, not every girl, but just like real serious party-going girls that like they just annoy the shit out of me. And it's like, it's very deceiving because like you're out, say you're out somewhere, you're dancing, you're on a dance floor, you're dancing with a girl, you guys got kind of a connection or whatever, and then you invite her away and she's hot, super hot, super hot. You invite her back to the bar, and then all of a sudden, what happens is, once you start talking to her, then it all gets turned off. So you go to the bar and you're like, hey, you know, I just want to let you know, I know this sounds real cheesy, but you know, you're really beautiful and you dance very well. And she's like, oh my God, thank you. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? But I'm like, I'm game. I'm already drunk. I'm like, fuck this. Like, you know, I'm gonna try to, you know, nip this in the bud, get it out real quickly, and then, you know, move on about my business. So I continue with the conversation, and I'm like, so, what's the deal? Like, you know, what's your story? Like, what's up? She's like, oh my God, like, I live right outside of Hebron, Indiana, and I'm like, so what is that, like Crown Point or Valpo? Like, where the fuck are you going? She's like, no, I'm from Leroy. And I'm like, oh, really? You're a fucking Leroy? You don't know shit. Like, so then I'm like, fuck it, I'm still game. I'm still gonna talk to her. So I'm like, you know, so what's your deal? Like, you ever been here before? I've never seen you out before. Like, what's going on? She's like, oh my God, me and my friend Brittany, we came here and like, we came here before, and like we were sitting in here, and all of a sudden these guys came up to us, and they were like, it was like they were from a different country, but they weren't. I don't know if they were like Macadamian or like Macaronian, or I don't know what the fuck happened, but all of a sudden I'm in the back of the limo and I'm sucking his dick. And I'm like, and you know that every story she tells ends that way. Like, she's that type of girl where it's like, oh my God, so me and my dad, we got on a flight, like, and I was like, I don't want to leave September 10th, I want to leave September 11th. And so we leave on September 11th, and we go to this plane, and these guys were like, big beards, they had box cutters, and I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? So then all of a sudden, I'm getting real nervous, so I take like 27 shots of apple pucker, and I'm like, oh my God. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, Dad, I want to go to New York, I want to see the World Trade Center. And my dad wasn't hurt me because the Trade Center was right there. And I was like, oh my fucking God. And then this guy grabbed me. I don't know what he was. Maybe he was Macadamian or Macaronian. But he grabbed me and we got in a fucking parachute. All of a sudden, I'm in a limo and I'm sucking his dick. I what? Like, really? That's how you live your life right now? Like, that's sick. How many of you guys out here, or girls also, love the position doggy style? Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. I'm a big fan of it, and this is why. I like looking at your face. Like, that's what I like to do. Look at your fucking face. I don't want to see the back of your fucking head. You just call me lame? Easy. It's a horse thing. So, just playing. So, one day, like, I remember, like, the time I decided that I didn't like doggy style because, like, I'm in this girl doggy style, and, like, we're doing it, whatever. And, like, she's, like, totally bent down, and, like, her ass cheeks are spread, and I'm like, what the fuck? And all of a sudden, like, I'm like, dude, shut your eye. Like, seriously, like, it's in my fucking face. And she's like, my eyes are closed. And I'm like, no, I'm not talking about those eyes. I'm talking about that eye right there, your brown eye. Like, shut it. And she's like, what are you talking about? What does brown eye mean? And I'm like, are you serious? Brown eye. Your asshole. Your butthole. Like, I thought you were smart. Like, you don't know the fucking slang terms for asshole. And she's like, I am smart. I went to fucking Northwestern. And I'm like, well, I'm fucking you doggy style, so you might as well get to Robert Morris College for all I care. Doesn't really matter to me. Craziness. So, before I go, I got time for one more.
It's your show, man. You can be all fucking out.
Yeah, I could, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna cut this short, but I'm gonna share a story with you guys. I'm gonna get very introspective with you guys. And, I'm gonna have a seat. I'm gonna Bill Cosby the story for a minute. So this is what I'm gonna do. And all the girls, this is what I want you to know before you judge this story or anything like that. Two things you need to know that I don't fucking know. What? No?
I didn't get anything.
Yep, there we go. I did hit the switch. Okay. Too many PBR. So, here's the story. I'm going to tell you this. Two things you need to know before I tell you this story. Number one, I was 16. I was 16. You need to understand that. And number two, I am very sensitive when it comes to women, and I am a gentleman. Like, and I never do anything that's ungentlemanly, because I just made that word up. So, just remember, I'm 16, and I'm a gentleman. So, I'm fucking this girl on the basement floor of her house, and I was 16, like, you know, we're skipping school, whatever, we're fucking, like, that's fine. And I'm only 9 months into having sex, so, like, I've been watching, like, a lot of real sex when I'm supposed to be asleep and learning, like, different things and stuff like that. I'm doing all that, so I'm, like, kind of proud of the fact that, like, I'm kind of putting on a good performance at the age of 16. So I'm in there, I'm doing things, she's moaning and she's groaning and she's doing that. And all of a sudden, I realize that I have to pee. So I'm like, okay, fuck that, I'm gonna ignore that. Like, I'm gonna ignore my bladder right now. I'm gonna keep going. So I keep going, and things are getting hot and heavy. Like, she's clawing a little bit, she's moaning louder, and things are happening. And I'm like, awesome, this is totally awesome. Her walls are contracting and distracting. It's awesome. Like, so all of a sudden, she goes, oh my God, I'm about to come. But when this happens, I feel pressure, and I mistakenly pee inside of her. Now, I'm a gentleman, understand that, and I'm 16. So, for me to have to got up from the sex, it seemed rude. Like, why would I do that? Like, I'm a gentleman. Like, I don't know any better. Like, you know. So I'm like, okay, so we sit there for a while. I'm inside of her still. We're sitting there talking about the time that we had and how great it was and how awesome it was. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the conversation, she's like, oh my God, you gotta hurry up and get up. I have to pee. I have to pee. I have to pee real bad. I have to pee real bad. I'm like, okay. Are you sure? She's like, yeah, you need to get up. I gotta pee. So I pull out of her. All my urine comes rushing out of her. And the first thing I say to her is, oh, you dirty fucking slut. Why did you pee on me? You're so gross. Like, you're so nasty. Like, who would pee on somebody? Like, it's different peeing inside of somebody, but peeing on somebody, that's a bit much. Like, I'm not dealing with this. She's crying, she's freaking out. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Can you ever forgive me? I'm like, I don't know, man. It's pretty fucking dirty. Like, you peed on me. Now I have the upper hand. Like, now I have the upper hand in the situation. And, you know, to this day, she still thinks that she peed on me. I remind her of it when I see her. It's not a big deal or whatever. But then it got me thinking. I was thinking about that joke. I was writing that joke, and I was telling that joke to some friends, and we started talking about the first time we ever masturbated. And me and my friend were talking about it, and I'm like, I don't really remember the first time I ever masturbated. All I remember is that I've been doing it forever. So I started thinking about it, and we started talking about, like, yeah, like the first few times, like, you masturbate, like, you know, as boys, like, girls think they have a lot of shit to go through as far as, like, when your period comes and all that. But think about when you're a young boy, and you first discover that you have, you know, that feels good. And every time you do it, thanks for the picture, there we go. And first time you do it, like, first few times you do it, it doesn't really, like, nothing ever really happens. You just do it for a while, like, you go outside and play with your friends, like, you don't wash your hands, whatever, like. And so then, I remember the first time that something actually came out. And I remember when it happened, I was sitting there, and then it came out. I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, am I broken? Like, what the fuck is it? Then, secondly, I got the thought, because I'm a kid, I'm like, I have fucking superpowers. I'm fucking Spider-Man. Like, I can fucking swing from vines with this shit. Like, that's awesome. Then I realized I tried to use my brain at the time, and I'm like, dude, this has to be milk. I'm like, I can totally milk people now. Like, I can totally feed children. Like, I am like Mother Teresa now. Like, I can go around like, so outside, and I'm like hanging out at my aunt's house, and my aunt has two twins, and you know, like they're grown up now, but at the time they were babies. And I heard her in the other room complaining about how I'm just sick of feeding these twins. I wish they'd get on the bottle, like it's pissing me off or whatever. And I'm like, Auntie, I got you. I can help you. I just discovered something and I can totally help you feed the twins. And she's like, okay, show me. So I grab one of the twins and I sit them right down, and the twins just sit there, and I'm like, don't know any better. Like, so before I can even do anything, my aunt sees what I'm about to do and she hits me in the head. She's like, that ain't milk, motherfucker. Like, what's wrong with you? But I didn't know any better. I was only 16. Like, how can I? Ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. My name is Keith Evans.